Hello everyone, this is Adnan with CAN's video trainings. Now, in this training, I'm going to go over this is Exchange Server 2010 training and part 5 of this video series. In this video, in previous videos where we had already installed Exchange, we explored the EMC, we already created some accounts, we did the basic mail flow. Also, in the last video we created databases. We understood what databases are. I hope you were able to complete the assignment given at the end of the last video for creating those databases, and we did test it out one account that was created in the new database. Now in this video we're going to go over CAS role. CAS is your client access role, client access server. Now this server is the main server. This role is the main server. Basically this is for client connection. So all your clients, all your Exchange clients, when they log into Exchange, before logging into their mailbox, they are connected to CAS. So CAS is a very, very important role. So in this we're going to see the CAS configuration under organization. We're going to go through CAS configuration under server, and then we'll be testing out and verifying the CAS role. So in our environment, we have right under organization, we have CAS. We have CAS under server settings as well. CAS under organization, basically what is CAS? CAS is the main connection point for all of the main connection point for all the clients. In other words, let's see if we can see the diagram. We can say Exchange 2010 mailbox CAS hub. Let's check some images. So here, let's find the best diagram. CAS hub, no. Let's see. There I have CAS, so client load balancer. Okay, CAS is here. CAS hub, domain, mailbox databases is here. What I want to see is a very basic diagram of CAS. So here you have upgrading 2007. So user, this is Edge, and let's quickly see. Oh yes, here. So this is CAS server. All the client connects to CAS. From CAS they are connected to mailbox. So the way it works is a user connected from Outlook or a smartphone, ActiveSync, or from any other email client, they first connect to CAS. From CAS they help in authentication because the user is logged into the Outlook. CAS will take the username and password, get to the domain controller, get it authenticated. If authenticated, it will then connect the user to the mailbox. If it is not authenticated, the connection will be rejected. So basically what we see here I have Outlook here. So as soon as I open this Outlook, let's say I open this Outlook here, so the very first time it is logging me in and it is connected, and here it's saying trying to connect here. As soon as it is connected to Exchange server. So basically what happened was, as soon as I started the Outlook, from Outlook it connects here, gets authentication, and connects the user to mailbox. That's the main role of CAS. Now let's see what other settings do we have in CAS. So let's jump on to our server. So in CAS, there are basically under organization, there are only two policies. One policy for OWA, second policy for ActiveSync. And whatever changes you make here on this level, it will affect your all CASs. Let's say you have a big organization and you have 20 or 40 CASs in, so you have CAS in each series. So best practices, wherever you have a physical site, mailbox server role, you must have one hub, one CAS for them. That's the best practice. So if you have a large company, you will have many CASs in that environment. So once you make any changes here, this will affect all CASs. Whereas under server, whatever server is selected, these policies are just for this server CAS. And if you on this server, if you select these policies, only affect this server. So that's the main difference between organization CAS and CAS under server. Now let's see OWA policy. What is OWA? OWA is Outlook Web Access, which is this client. Whereas this is on client, this is I'm using Outlook. This is a complete Office, one of the Office, MS Office product. This is a separate client. Whereas this is if I open through Internet Explorer, and then if I go here and try to open Outlook, so let's say I'll say here HTTPS and Exchange server name. So my Exchange server name CANEPS DC EXEH 01 slash 01 slash OWA. Now this is Outlook Web Access. And Outlook Web Access connects through internet, and when I go here, it will ask me, it will actually lets me connect to the administrator account. So I'm connected to administrator account. Now this is OWA, this is complete Outlook. Same thing what you see here. So the main purpose of both of them is to connect to user's mailbox. So here, if I go back to the server, under this is what is shown here. This is OWA settings. Now in OWA settings, you can see that it is here in segmentation. It's just saying that which feature do you want to allow using OWA for the clients. So as soon as the client open, are you allowing them to see the address list? So here I'm gonna say allow. Or do you want to allow them to see calendar? So I'm gonna say allow. Or do you want them to see contacts? So allow or disallow. So here these are all that. Would you allow them to change the password? So you would allow them or disallow them. Now this is segmentation. This is when the user is connected to a public computer and using OVA, these settings will be applied. When users are using private computer and connecting to OVA, then these settings will be applied. Basically, this is just saying here that if user is connected, now let me show you this here. If I log off, actually I need to do a little tweak here. You don't have to do this. Actually, I did that during my testing. I'm gonna change this to default so that I'll be able to show you. So form-based authentication. Now let's open this one more time. Let's open Internet Explorer, open OWA, and in OWA I'll open. So I don't want to go through this authentication. Actually I wanted to go through this is on this server. Actually I need to go to properties. You don't have to do this I just changed. By default is form-based authentication. I'm gonna go through this in a moment, but let me show you, since we are here on this CAS, and I have two types of settings. So we are right here and we're checking this policy. We're checking public folder and private folder. Now I wanted to show you where do you see these settings. So when the user logs into OVA, So when the user logs into OVA here, let me open again, and let's connect to OVA. See if it opens here, or let me go here, open it from this. Okay, authentication method still not changed. This is my second server. Yes, here. So when you log into OVA and any user, so this is the first page they're gonna say if they are using form-based authentication. So it is here they're saying, okay, are you sitting on a public computer or are you sitting in a private computer? Public means if the user is sitting in some net cafe, maybe some library, maybe Tim Hortons or somewhere, and they're trying to access OVA from some other computer, then you would select this option. When you select this option, Exchange gives you some restrictions because you're sitting on a public computer and public computer might have viruses, so you will be opening your mailbox with some restriction. But if you're saying it's a private computer simply means that this is my computer, I trust this computer, so it should be open with normal permissions. So let me see if I can log in. So here I'm not able to log in because I'm already logged in here. Close and go back here. Let's log in. Now in your case you might not be looking at this type of authentication because I changed that. Should be looking at form-based authentication. So basically you get the point that this policy here, this is for OVA clients or the users who are connected through this. Now what is in this policy? If the user select public in that checkbox, user will be given they can do these. They can open files of these types. And here so what is blocked? These file types will be blocked when they are configured. So if these files are as an attachment in their email, they won't be able to open this. So these are few settings. Normally most of the time I'll keep them default, and same goes for computers, same settings but with more file options. So this is CAS under an organization. Now here you have active sync policy. This policy will apply to smartphones from where people are connected to their mailboxes through smartphones. Now here if you apply this policy, for now this is not by default, it's not having any restrictive settings. So this policy will be applied to all the active sync devices. For example, from this policy you can say you don't want to allow camera, you don't want to allow Wi-Fi, you don't want to allow these. So you can have this policy here in settings, in sync settings. It is right here. They should be allowed to do auto direct push. They should be allowed to see HTML formatted email, and you can also specify that now they should need a special password. If you don't, they will be only automatically authenticated based on their Active Directory credentials. So if you need an extra PIN for them, you can do this here. So basically this is for active sync. Now so we don't make any changes on this level, we'll just leave it as is, and then we'll jump on to client access. Now on the client access, what we have, it is divided into, first of all there are servers. It shows me I have 2 CAS servers here. So although I have 3 servers, but since this one is only mailbox, I don't see it here. So I have 2 CAS servers here, so this is CAS. If I go to mailbox, then I see all 3 of them, because this second server has mailbox server role. So if I select CAS, I can see only 2, because this is only showing me CAS server roles. So CAS is 2. Now both have exactly the same type of settings, but then if you make changes selecting one server, it won't affect the other server. So that's the difference between being under organization or under server. So let's go to first one, which is OWA. OWA, how OWA should be opened, what policies should be applied on them, and all that. So this all comes here. Let me add a banner. Okay, so here Outlook Web Access Policy is this. This will be applied to only this server. What do we have here? So first of all, this is my Outlook link. This link will be given to all users. Most of the time this link will be a very simple link. For now, by default it is just pointing to its own server. Now later on within the same video, I'm going to show you how to make this link very simple, so that user doesn't have to remember your Exchange server name. They should go with some logical name like webmail. So we're going to change this in a moment. But here I have authentication. What type of authentication should they get when they open this page? And segmentation is the same option. What features should they be seeing while they are in OWA? And then if they are on a public computer, what type of restrictions will be there? If they are on private computer, what type of restriction will be there? Remote file should they be able to connect to file servers in your organizations? The setting is here. Now in OWA, the most important thing is that what type of link you should give them. If you take this link, copy, put it in your Internet Explorer, what happens is it will open directly. It will open a client. So here I just copied that link, paste it here, and here it is trying to connect to OWA. It is connecting to OWA, so it's asking me this authentication method. So it connects to OWA. Now let's make this link more simpler, just like in all organization. In order to make this simpler, we're gonna call this link as a webmail. Instead of this, we're gonna call it webmail. Webmail.canips.pri. In order to make it webmail, all we need to do, we need to go into administrative tools, need to go into DNS, and within DNS we need to create a CNAME. So we need to go into our DNS server, under forward lookup zone, under canips.pri. Here I'm gonna say create a CNAME, and this CNAME will be pointing to our Exchange server, first Exchange server, which is the CAS role, which is this one. So this one, and the name will be webmail. So webmail, and so webmail, anybody who says webmail, tries to connect to webmail, basically will be connecting to this server. Now this is to make simpler, so that all your users in your organization doesn't have to remember your Exchange server name. All they need to know is webmail. They will connect to webmail.canips.pri/OWA, and they are connected to your client. So this is what we need to do. Now in order to do this, we're gonna do the same thing on the other server, but for the other server what we'll do is we'll go back to DNS here. We'll go back to DNS. Within DNS here we're gonna go create another CNAME, and we're gonna go here, forward lookup zone, domain, and we are going to point our other DNS server here as well. So this is my second server. I'm also gonna call this webmail. Now this will kind of basically load balance as well. So here now I have two servers with the same name. So I have server number 1, server number 2. What happened? Why didn't it create it? The CNAME. There can be only one record with this name. Would you like to remove the previous record with the name and replace this one? Okay. How about... oh, I can create only similar names with different IP address, not a CNAME. So for the other server, we need to create a record. So let's create a record. So we can have only one CNAME as similar name. So this is if you have one server in your organization pointing to this. Let's say I want to have the same name for this IP address, exchange, so that I can now let me show you what I'm trying to do here. Now what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to have a simple name for OVA. Otherwise, if you don't make it simpler, then you'll have to kind of educate your end users to learn how to connect to OVA by using the Exchange server name. So in all of the environment, we make it simpler by having a simple name as webmail, or maybe mail, email, so or maybe web.canaps.pri. So here I already redirected this name for this, but here just redirection shouldn't work. What we need to do is we need to basically create CNAMEs, or if we have two Exchange server, in that case I need to create a host record. I'm going to create a host record for, first of all, webmail, and I'm going to point it to my first server. So my first server is 100.10, which is actually the first server, and then I'm going to point my third server. So my third server is 100.30. So third server, same, webmail, we're going to say 100.130, create. Now here, as you can see, I can create two similar names with two different IP address, but I cannot create two similar names as a CNAME. Now once they are populated in this organization, let's make sure they are populated. So let's ping webmail. Okay, hold on, it's wrong name. So it's pinging now, and all I need to do here, saying webmail, and done. Now when the next time the user connects, they don't need to remember the Exchange server name. All they need to do is HTTPS and webmail.canaps.pri or domain name /OWA. So it connects them to your OVA. So basically our authentication is working now again. Remember, it was asking us that small screen. It took a while, and now I can say this is my private computer and I need to connect with my account, which is mali. So I'm gonna say canaps/mali, and username is this. If everything is fine, it would let me connect to CAS. Let's try that on the second server with the same name, not with the exchange name. Now one more thing we need to do, we need to make this change to all CAS servers. So we just made this change to this one. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go under this, double click on this. So we just changed it for this, we never changed it for the second server. So I'm gonna make a change for the second server. It's just being slow. So webmail.canvas.ova, apply, okay. And at the same time, let's try this. webmail.canvas.pri/ova. So it connects to our webmail server. So guys, this is how we do make a change from a simple from exchange server name to a simple name so that users can connect. So I would suggest you doing the same thing in your exchange environment. Create two a host record pointing to your CAS servers, and then within this change this name. Guys, the second thing here is within CAS is ECP. Now ECP is the Exchange Control Panel. It is also a link. It's a tool for this is added to Exchange 2010. It was not available in Exchange 2007. Now this tool is used for users to make basic changes to their profile. Now in order to connect to this tool, all they need to do is they need to connect to this link. What's happening here? Let me see why my computer is slow. Okay, I have so many machines on, and 15 GB is used, so that's why it's kind of slow. This is fine. Can go here. So I just double clicked. I went here, double clicked on this. So I'm here, and I'm here, and here. So this is ECP. In ECP there is not much settings. Let me show you what ECP is. I just select and copy the link, and you go into Internet Explorer, and right beside this open another tab, and right here you would connect to ECP. Now the only difference is same server name with ECP at the end. That was OWA, OWA. This is ECP. ECP stands for Exchange Control Panel. Now in here, once the user connects, user will be able to do some changes to his profile and can see his profile. Whereas OWA is used to access email. ECP, while it is loading, let's go on to our client side and run this. So this is just actually OWA. Let's connect to ECP. When you connect to ECP, it will again authenticate you. So here it is still trying to connect. Here it is connecting. So basically when ECP is open, it will show you. So let me try to open ECP here on the server. Or what I can do is I can try and connect to the other server, because ECP is available on both. CH02. On 2 it's not there, or maybe I'm typing the wrong server name. Oh, it's 3. Okay. So I can go to the, actually this server is very busy at the moment for some reason. Yes, it's 100% used. And why is it 100% used? Because I guess it is because actually the host machine is under, so that's why everything is slow. Guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause this video here. Actually I wanted to reach to a milestone before I can, so what I can do, I can stop the video here. So in this video what we did, we just explored CAS server on organization level, we explored CAS, and we did some minor changes to OWA. And in the next video I'm gonna go through, which will be part 2 for CAS, go through ECP and Exchange, ActiveSync and POP3 accounts. So they need some time, so I'm gonna create a separate video for this. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I'm gonna see you in the next video.